Historic is such a diverse format. It has combo decks, control decks, aggro decks, mid-range decks, tempo decks, and even ramp decks. This video breaks down the top 10 best decks to conquer the historic meta.
Victory!
Jeskai Lotus Field is a combo control deck built around Lotus Field and cards that interact with it, like Strict Proctor and Stifle, which negate its downside of sacrificing lands, allowing you to ramp up your mana quickly. Once you've established a mana advantage, you can deploy cards like the One Ring for card draw or powerful finishers like Flage. The deck includes control elements such as Wrath of the Skies for board wipes, as well as Path to Exile and Prismatic Ending for efficient removal, while Jace the Mind Sculptor provides additional disruption and card manipulation. This deck excels at controlling the game while ramping into powerful plays, but the deck can be vulnerable before it establishes control and relies on key synergies. Jeskai Lotus Field offers a powerful mix of mana ramp and control, excelling at big game-ending plays. Bant Convoke is an aggressive deck that leverages cheap creatures and the Convoke mechanic to flood the board and cast powerful spells for minimal mana. Cards like Ornithopter and Warden of the Inner Sky provide free or low-cost creatures to fuel Convoke spells like Knight Errant of Eos, allowing you to deploy big threats quickly. Amara helps populate the board with additional tokens, while Ajani adds pressure and board control. Ropeline Attendant and Guide of Souls further enhance your go-wide strategy, making the deck capable of overwhelming opponents with numbers. The deck excels at creating a wide board presence and casting big spells early, but the deck can struggle if its early aggression is disrupted or countered. Bank Convoke quickly overwhelms opponents with cheap creatures and powerful Convoke synergies. Rule Shifting Woodlands is a combo deck that aims to fill the graveyard with powerful permanents like Omniscience and God Pharaoh's Gift, using discard and self-mill spells such as Faithless Looting and Malevolent Rumble. The key to the deck is Shifting Woodland, which can become a copy of either Omniscience or God Pharaoh's Gift from your graveyard, allowing you to cheat massive creatures like Atraxa or Ulamog directly onto the battlefield. If you bring Ulamog back with God Pharaoh's Gift, he counts himself as the exiled card, meaning it's an Annihilator 10 with haste. This deck excels at quickly cheating powerful permanents into play, but the deck is vulnerable to disruption and graveyard hate. Brawl Woodlands quickly cheats out massive threats, making it a powerful combo deck with game-ending potential. Next time you're playing Magic with your friends, why not have a laugh with some funny tokens? You can get my full collection of 12 for less than a tenner with my discount code in the description below. Mardu Sacrifice is a synergistic deck that focuses on sacrificing creatures for value and dealing incremental damage to opponents. The deck leverages cards like Goblin Bombardment and Marionette Apprentice to turn creature sacrifices into direct damage, while Unlucky Witness and Deadly Dispute generate card advantage. The Ajani and Amped Raptor provide powerful synergy with sacrifice effects, while Claim the Firstborn allows you to steal and sacrifice opponents' creatures. The deck utilizes strong sacrifice synergies to gain an advantage, but the deck is vulnerable to targeted hate and stabilizing strategies. Mardu Sacrifice excels at leveraging creature sacrifice to generate value and deal consistent damage. Golgari Persistent Sorin focuses on cheating large threats into play through two main strategies, Sorin and Persist. Sorin can cheat vampires like Vein Ripper and Saint Elenda directly onto the battlefield, while Persist brings back any of the deck's powerful non-legendary creatures. The deck fills the graveyard using cycling effects and Malevolent Rumble, ensuring you have targets for Persist. Assemble the Team provides consistency, helping you find key cards for both strategies, while the deck also uses the standard black mid-range package of Thoughtseize, Inquisition of Kozilek, and Fatal Push to disrupt opponents and maintain board control. The deck excels at cheating big threats into play and disrupting opponents with mid-range tools, but the deck can struggle if disrupted early or if the graveyard is targeted. Golgari Persistent Sorin uses both reanimation and vampire strategies to cheat large threats into play while controlling the game. Boros Energy focuses on generating energy and leveraging it to power up aggressive creatures while also leaning into life gain synergies. With the nerfing of some key cards, this version explores new builds by incorporating life gain elements more heavily. Cards like Soul Warden and Voice of the Blessed turn life gain into a powerful engine, while energy generating creatures such as Amp Raptor and Guide of Souls fuel the aggressive game plan. The Ajani can transform into a strong strong threat that controls the board, while Goblin Bombardment provides additional reach by allowing creatures to deal direct damage and of course threatens to flip a Ajani the second you play him. The deck combines energy generation with a life gain strategy to keep pressure on opponents, but the deck can struggle if it doesn't establish early board presence or if it's disrupted. Boros Energy explores a new life gain focused build, blending energy generation with aggressive strategies for consistent pressure. Izzet Wizards is an aggressive tempo deck that focuses on cheap spells and powerful wizard synergies. Creatures like Soulscar Mage and Symmetry Sage benefit from cheap spells, growing them in size, synergizing particularly well with Wizard's Lightning, which is cast at reduced cost thanks to the wizard synergy. Snapcaster Mage, also importantly a wizard, adds extra value by letting you replay your spells from the graveyard, while Expressive Iteration and Treasure Cruise provide powerful card draw to keep the pressure on. Flame of Anur offers both removal and card draw, providing flexibility to control the game while advancing your game plan. This deck combines cheap spells with wizard synergies to generate consistent pressure, but the deck can struggle if it doesn't establish an early threat or is heavily disrupted. Izzet Wizards blends fast, efficient spells with wizard synergies to create a potent tempo-based strategy. Last month, 1.7% of you were subscribed. This month, I want to get it up to 2.5%, so show your support for the channel by clicking subscribe down below. Golgari Yawgmoth is a combo-oriented deck that revolves around Yawgmoth to generate card advantage and control the board. The primary combo involves Yawgmoth and 2 young wolves. You sacrifice one wolf to draw a card, bringing it back with a +1/+1 counter. Then sacrifice the other wolf to place a -1/-1 counter on the first wolf, removing the +1/+1 counter. This loop can be repeated infinitely, but since you lose 1 life with each activation, you'll need cards like Prosperous Innkeeper to gain life back, or Marionette Apprentice to drain your opponent each time. Alternatively, the combo also works with 1 young wolf and Hapatra, because you can use the snake tokens generated to continue the loop. Birthing Ritual and Chord of Calling help to tutor and assemble these combo pieces quickly, while Prosperous Innkeeper and Kami of Mourning provide life gain and additional value. The deck is great at executing the combo with lots of ways to dig for pieces, but can be vulnerable to graveyard hate, exile effects, and of course, not being able to resolve Yawgmoth. Golgari Yawgmoth excels at leveraging sacrifice mechanics to control the board and execute powerful combos. Selesnya Devotion is a powerful ramp deck that utilizes Nykthos to generate massive amounts of mana, enabling explosive plays. The deck centers around building Devotion with green cards like Cavalier of Thorns and Fanatic of Ronus, which help fuel your mana engine. Storm the Festival allows you to dig deep and put multiple permanents onto the battlefield, accelerating your game plan. Khan the Great Creator plays a pivotal role by fetching powerful artifacts from your sideboard like Akroma's Memorial or the One Ring. Though these artifacts are usually enough to close the game out, sometimes you need to use the powerful infinite combo, which works like this. With 2 Kioras and 2 Khans, 1 of each in the graveyard and 1 of each on the battlefield, you can create an infinite loop using Restorative Burst to generate infinite mana and life, where eventually you use the front side of the card, Pestilent Cauldron, to mill your opponent out completely. But in order to execute this, you will need a black mana source from somewhere, which means this combo is only doable on occasion, but it's definitely worth noting as sometimes it does come up. The deck's amazing at generating loads of mana and having access to a toolbox main deck, but it relies on Devotion for Nykthos, making it vulnerable to board wipes. Selesnya Devotion excels at generating huge mana and overwhelming opponents with powerful game-changing plays. This 4-color Samwise combo deck revolves around sacrificing creatures to generate value and win the game through combo loops. Samwise and Cauldron Familiar create a powerful synergy, allowing the familiar to return repeatedly as you generate food tokens, providing a loop when paired with a sacrifice outlet like Goblin Bombardment. Goblin Trapfinder and Unlucky Witness help you dig through your deck for key combo pieces, while Ajani provides added board control and aggression. Birthing Ritual adds the consistency needed to actually play a 4-color deck in a format without the fetch lands. This deck excels at setting up efficient combos and utilizing sacrifice synergy to win, but the deck does struggle if key combo pieces are disrupted or exiled. 4-color Samwise combo leverages powerful sacrifice loops to finish the game quickly through value and direct damage. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the video on the left. If you've already watched that one, the video on the right is my most recent video, and I'm sure you're going to find that useful too.